Have you ever looked at your bank account and asked yourself one simple question? Where did all my money go? If you have, you're not alone. In fact, millions of people ask themselves that same question every month. And here's the strange part. Most of them don't have a spending problem. They have a behavior problem. Because money rarely disappears in one big mistake. It disappears in hundreds of tiny decisions that seem harmless at the time. A coffee here. A subscription there. A few things from Amazon. A dinner out because you had a long day. None of it feels dangerous. Until one day, you wake up in your 50s or 60s and realize something doesn't add up. You worked for decades. You earned money. You weren't irresponsible. And yet, you don't feel financially secure. Have you ever felt that way? If you have, let me know in the comments by writing. I've wondered where my money went. Because I think a lot more people feel this than are willing to admit. The truth is, your brain is partly responsible. Not because you're bad with money. Not because you're lazy. And not because you're not smart. Your brain simply wants one thing. To feel good right now. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I spoke with a man who was close to retirement. He had worked for over 30 years. Never had expensive hobbies. Never bought luxury cars. Never made six figures. But he made a decent living. And one day he looked at his retirement account and said something I'll never forget. He said, "I thought I'd have a lot more money by now." Maybe you've heard someone say that. Maybe you've even said it yourself. So I asked him a simple question. Did you make any big financial mistakes? He thought about it. Then he said, "No, not really." And that's exactly the problem. Most people don't go broke because of one big mistake. They go broke because of thousands of little ones. Every day. For years. And their brain never sees the danger. Because your brain doesn't treat small spending as important. $5 feels small. $10 feels small. $20 feels small. But let me ask you something. How many times a week do you spend $20 without thinking about it? 3 times? 5 times? Every day? Think about that for a second. Because small numbers become very big numbers when you repeat them for 20 or 30 years. That's how financial habits work. They don't hurt you immediately. They quietly follow you through life. And then one day, they hand you the bill. Here's another question. Have you ever bought something and a week later completely forgotten about it? I know I have. We all have. That's because your brain loves the feeling of buying something. But it gets bored very quickly. The excitement disappears. Then your brain starts looking for the next thing. Another purchase. Another reward. Another little hit of happiness. And the cycle starts all over again. The problem is, temporary happiness can become very expensive. Especially when it's repeated for decades. This is why some people earn good money and still struggle financially. Because income alone doesn't create wealth. Behavior does. Let me ask you another question. How many things in your house do you own that you rarely use? Be honest. An exercise machine. Kitchen gadgets. Clothes with tags still on them. Old subscriptions. A streaming service you forgot to cancel. If that's you, don't worry. You're not alone. Actually, write this in the comments. I have things I don't use. I think you'll be surprised how many people can relate. Here's something I learned a long time ago. Most spending isn't logical. It's emotional. We buy things because we're stressed. Because we're bored. Because we're tired. Because we think we deserve a reward. Have you ever had a bad day and thought, I'm going to treat myself? Of course you have. We've all done it. But when treating yourself becomes a habit, your wallet starts paying the price. And here's the scary part. Your brain becomes very good at justifying it. It says things like, "I work hard. It's only $20. I'll save more next month. Everyone does it." Little sentences. Little excuses. Repeated for years. And suddenly decades have passed. A lot of people reach retirement age and realize something painful. They don't have an income problem. They have 30 years of small habits that quietly worked against them. That's why I don't believe financial success comes from being a genius. I think it comes from awareness. Simply noticing what you're doing. Because you can't change a habit you don't see. So let me give you something practical. For the next 7 days, I want you to write down every purchase that isn't necessary. Every coffee. Every snack. Every online order. Every little expense. Don't judge yourself. Don't try to stop spending. Just pay attention. Because something interesting happens when you start paying attention. You begin to pause. You start asking yourself, do I really want this? Will I even remember buying this next week? Is this helping my future, or just my mood right now? And those questions can change everything. Because financial control isn't built in big moments. It's built in tiny moments. The ones nobody sees. The little decisions that seem too small to matter. I want to ask you one more question. Imagine you could go back 20 years. What's one money habit you wish you had changed earlier? Take a second and think about it. Then tell me in the comments. I read the comments because sometimes the best lessons don't come from me. They come from people who have already lived through these experiences. And maybe your answer will help someone else. Here's what I believe. Most people don't need another budgeting app. They don't need another complicated financial strategy. They need awareness. They need to understand why they spend. Why they react. Why they repeat the same patterns. Because once you understand your behavior, you start making different choices. Not all at once. Not overnight. Just one small decision at a time. And those decisions add up. Just like bad habits add up. Good habits do too. A few dollars saved. A few unnecessary purchases avoided. A few moments where you pause instead of reacting. Over time, those little moments can completely change your financial future. Because your future isn't decided by one giant decision. It's decided by hundreds of tiny ones. And the good news? You still have control over the next one. So here's my challenge for you. For the next 7 days. Pay attention. Write it down. Notice the patterns. And then come back to this video and tell me what surprised you the most. Because your brain may want comfort. It may want convenience. It may want immediate rewards. But that doesn't mean it gets to control your future. You do.